Hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing today? There it is. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We're talking on this panel of the art of partnership with Major League Baseball and New York Life. And so in 2024, New York Life entered a long-term partnership with Major League Baseball with the vision of growing the game and continuing to service the communities that we all love. This powerful partnership builds on New York Life's deep-rooted commitment to sports as a powerful force for bringing communities together and creating lasting impact. Along with their work to build their long-lasting relationships with the New York Yankees and Little League, they're excited to extend their impact by further integrating financial empowerment into the world of sports. And so today, we are so excited to continue to talk about that vision with these amazing panelists. I am your moderator, AJ Andrews. I'm a professional softball player, the very first woman to win a Rawlings Gold Glove. And yeah, go ahead.
By the way, AJ, I didn't know that you won a Gold Glove. I just saw it right there.
Yeah.
You learned something new.
Thank you.
Say, put some respect on my name.
Right, I know. I should have brought mine next to your, series championship. Anyway, I am also the host of Play Ball on MLB Network. And sitting next to me is an amazing woman who is a dynamic and results-driven integrated marketing leader with over 14 years of experience in marketing and financial services, who thrives at the intersection of creativity, storytelling, and data-driven insights. Specializing in integrated channel strategies, she is passionate about crafting seamless brand and performance experiences that drive business growth. She's a CVP Acquisition, Client, and Sponsorship Marketing at New York Life, Lisa Thompson. And to her left is Major League Baseball's Chief Marketing Officer and Senior Vice President of Global Corporate Partnerships. She leads MLB's global marketing efforts, partnering with league executives across all operations, revenue, and technology departments in the 30 MLB clubs to help present baseball to its fans, grow the sport, and reach new audiences, while also overseeing the team responsible for securing, renewing, and managing sponsorship agreements with official league partners around the world, Uzma Ron. And last but certainly not least, how could he be the least, is former Major League Baseball outfielder who played 14 seasons at the highest level, making his mark as a dynamic switch hitter and a leader both on and off the field. He is a 2016 World Series champion. Go ahead, clap for that one. You can get a little something. MLB All-Star who was instrumental in the Chicago Cubs' historic championship run, forever cementing his legacy in baseball history. Born in Atlanta, Georgia, he made his MLB debut with the Colorado Rockies in 2008 before playing for the Houston Astros, Chicago Cubs, and St. Louis Cardinals. Known for his speed, leadership, clutch performances, and he's a little bit funny. He was a fixture on the...
Yeah, you forgot the Angels, too, but go ahead.
Angels as well. He was a fixture at the top of the batting order throughout his career, Dexter Fowler. All right, you guys ready to get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Before we jump into the conversation, I think these are some things everybody wants to know. When we talk about favorite stadium, MLB stadium, what is your favorite? Lisa, you can go first.
Oh, Yankees. I know my family's going to kill me. We're Dodger fans all the way, but I have become a Yankees. True.
All right now. Uzma?
I'm a league employee, so we love all of our ballparks.
Yeah.
So politically correct here.
And Dexter, what was your favorite stadium to play in?
You know what? Outside of Wrigley Field, just being a home team there, I'd say Dodger Stadium, because when you go there, it's showtime. I remember my first time there.
Was that a pun on?
Well, you know who was there is Paul Walker was right there. Arsenio Hall I was leading off, and Arsenio Hall's right there. I'm like, this is really Nia Long throughout the first pitch. I was like, where are we? They're watching Let's Play? This is crazy.
When you talk about ballparks, what's your favorite ballpark food?
Dodger dog.
Oh, no.
It is.
That's like saying Skyline chili
I grew up on that. It's nostalgic.
When I find kettle corn at a ballpark, I'm obsessed, so that's what I would say.
Controversial question, is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
No.
Are you thinking about it, Dexter?
Tomato.
Wow. Okay, last but not least, who do you predict winning the World Series in 2025?
I plead the fifth. I don't know.
On behalf of my son, I'm going to say the New York Mets.
Okay.
I think it's, I hate to say it again, it's the Dodgers. You know what? It's like Big Brother. It's like, you know, it's they're Goliath, and who's going to knock them off the top? Who's the David? But they're at the top.
Well, when we think about winning, as athletes, sports fans, or those that work in sports, we all share the same DNA because we all want to come out with the W. Dexter, whether it's you winning a championship, or Uzma and Lisa, whether it's you winning and building those relationships within the community, family, and excellence first on and off the field, building that with a vision in mind and this amazing partnership in mind. Lisa, how did this partnership come to fruition?
I love that you said the word partnership, because we've been approached many times over the years with a lot of different sponsorships, and we could throw our logo up on a screen and just have that be a day. But we took a moment back in 2023 and started to think about, what should this program look like? What do we actually want to do that's more than just spots and dots? And when we started talking to MLB, we realized that a partnership is really that commitment between both of us. And for us, we are a mission-driven company that is committed to providing financial freedom for people throughout their whole lifetime. And that is something that is who we are. It's at our heart. We realized that the MLB shared the same passion for their own communities and for what they were doing in their areas. And for us to be able to create special, authentic moments together was a unique opportunity for us, and we share the same passion together.
Sharing the same passion, because that's where it all starts from. Whether you are an athlete, you're in business, your passion to grow and to continue to elevate is how you truly reach success. And Uzma sports are unique in their ability to unite communities and to really have powerful moments and powerful impact. From MLB's perspective, what made New York Life an appealing partner and someone you really thought would help continue to unite and inspire?
I agree with Lisa that this is truly a partnership. It's not just a sponsorship. And from our perspective, we say this a lot, that we want to align with brands where we're helping the brand tell its story, but we also have a really cool story to tell. And we want our partners to help MLB tell our own story too. And when we entered into conversations with New York Life and we realized that we really do have shared values of community, family, excellence, we wanted to dig in further to identify ways that we could sort of create this halo effect where we're helping deliver against their objectives and really tell their brand value stories, and they're helping us do the same through some of our partnership elements.
Speaking of telling stories, the story of being an athlete and continuing to grow the game of baseball, Dexter, I know you're part of the Commissioner's Ambassador Program, which is led by Ryan Howard and Jimmy Rollins, where 12 former players to help advance the footprint of Major League Baseball. Can you think of an initiative or a time in which you were truly impacted by what it was that MLB has put in place, as whether it's a brand partnership or putting you in front of different fans that has really stuck with you today?
You know what? My mom was a elementary school teacher, so she taught inner city schools in Atlanta. So I remember going there when I first got drafted and talking to the kids and just being a top prospect and going in there and kind of just putting my footprint and legacy on things. And you know, that dates back to, you know, when I had Andrew Jones and the Braves, and they used to come in to our locker. Our you know, fields and talk to us and sit down and impart some stuff with us. So Major League Baseball has been doing it for a long time. And when I got the chance to be a part of CAP, I mean, that there was nothing that I didn't love more than to be a part of that, something like that.
And being able to deepen the connections is all a part of growth, especially something that you're focused on, Lisa, with New York Life. How have you been able to deepen that connection, engage with consumers, and find new ways to ultimately empower individuals and families through this partnership?
It's a really good question. I think the subject of authenticity comes up a lot, especially for brands. We always say that we want to show up to the communities in an authentic manner. And I think that some brands really try and they have the look of authenticity. And that was something that we wanted to really be aware of and stay away from. Like, we actually want to be authentic. So we had a very unique opportunity to partner with MLB and Dexter this last year. We went through the Rickwood event, which was an MLB celebrating Black history in the baseball field. And so what we did is the team came together and had an event that was leading up to. And we could have just gone in and said that, hey, we want to do a financial education seminar for people down in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm not sure how many people would have shown up to that, to be quite honest. I mean, I know that everyone should be thinking about financial education, but it's maybe not the most fun thing, and it's definitely not connected to what they were trying to do with MLB. What the teams came together with is said, okay, what does the community of Birmingham, Alabama really need? And it really focused on young entrepreneurs and small business owners in the Black community. And so we invited 150 of them to a very small, intimate event where we had Dexter be a keynote speaker and talk about his experience. And we also had a panel of their peers be able to speak. And we had some of our financial experts from New York Life be able to come in and give some advice and answer some questions. And it was a really fun night that wasn't focused fully on what we were trying to do, but it was really about building up the community and what was serving them. And then at the end, everyone loves a rooftop happy hour, so we took everyone up to the roof, served some drinks, served some food, and at the end, we gave away grants that really allowed these business owners to expand and help pay off their expenses.
No, Lisa was right. Like, she hit the nail on the head. I was at the event. I mean, the turnout was great. The questions they asked were unbelievable. And I think New York Life, they've done a great job in finding that sweet spot. You know, with, like you said, it's not just financial literacy, but it's also, you know, you open up the realm of top business owners or whatnot, but everything business encompassing.
I just want to add on to that too. Like, New York Life truly is a partner for us, no pun intended, that puts their money where their mouth is. So as part of the partnership as well, they have an alignment with Little League through us, and they're really leaning in heavily into that and making sure that they're giving back to the Little League communities through grant programs, a Community Hero Award. And so we love to see that. We want our partners, again, helping tell the right stories, and they really do that in a way that really authenticates and solidifies what they say and what they mean when they say that they want to create a better tomorrow. They're living and breathing that for us.
And for those that don't know, they're speaking of when they're at the game that was in Birmingham, which was at the oldest professional ballpark in the United States, Rickwood Field, and it was where the Birmingham Black Barons played, which was a team of Willie Mays when he was playing. And when you think about the Negro Leagues, there's so many integral players that really help build what Major League Baseball is today, whether it's Willie Mays, whether it is Satchel Paige, Jackie Robinson. And you talk about coming in and being able to impact all those communities. What was your biggest takeaway from that event? I'll leave it for all of you.
I think for me, just personally, being able to see the real connection with everyone and how much it impacted them and how useful it was. I think that we can put on a lot of things and you might walk away and say, that might be interesting, but these people really seemed like they got something useful out of it, and that was extremely touching for me to do. In marketing, I think sometimes you sit far away from the consumer, especially in digital, and so it was really amazing to have that upfront personal connection.
For me, it was sort of we had done our Field of Dreams events for a couple of years, which was where we created a baseball field, a regulation baseball field, you know, where the movie site exists in Iowa. And that was a cultural moment in itself. This event, Rickwood, was almost the Field of Dreams, but with meaning in terms of what it meant for the community there in Birmingham, Alabama, what it meant for the Negro Leaguers. It really touched a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it meant change because I mean, you look at, you know, the everybody. It's a new field. You can almost, it's nostalgia because it's the old field where they first started playing, and you made it now the big league field of us now. So it's kind of bringing the past to the future. And then obviously Willie Mays had died the day before the game, and really wanted to be there. And for him to that be his first team is it was very impactful, and it was deep rooted for us.
Did you walk out to the original outfield wall?
No, I didn't go out there.
It's crazy. It was crazy because they brought it up.
It's far, yeah.
It's
far.
far.
Yeah.
It's far.
You think of such impactful moments and advice you would give, whether it be in baseball, Negro Leagues, or business. You being a part of that conversation, Dexter, what were some of the bits of advice you were giving as an entrepreneur yourself with multiple businesses outside of being a professional baseball player?
I'd say the first thing, that's a great question, but the first thing that you really sit there and think about is, don't do stuff for the money, do it for passion. And that's how I played baseball too. Like I remember my parents telling me, they were like, "Hey, when do you think you'll stop playing baseball?" And I said, "When I stop having fun doing it." So, but I always found joy in the game until I didn't. And at the end of the day, like, being an entrepreneur, follow something that you're really passionate about. Do something that you're passionate about, because the money will come. But the hard work will be there if you're passionate about it.
Speaking of passion, being able to continue to empower baseball fans, which is a very passionate group of individuals. Uzma, across the country, through creating the different integrations with New York Life and supporting the youth and underserved, how do you continue to do so with the partnership with New York Life?
I think the way that we always view a partnership is, and we love long-term partnerships, but year one is when we're dating. We're sort of getting to know each other, what works, what doesn't work. And it's okay for things to not work. We want to course correct and see how we can do bigger and better things in year two, when maybe we get engaged and we're like, okay, this is serious. Like, let's lean in and do a little bit more. And so
I like this analogy.
Right.
I like
Should I accept a ring?
By the way,
Can I
it's
accept
3
a
years
ring?
we're married, and it's like real. Like, then we're just in it for the long
put a
haul,
ring on it.
continued renewals. But I would say for year two, I think that we want to do bigger and better and continue to educate our players about how they can educate themselves around financial literacy. So programs that we're creating with our player development program, and then with our youth programs, continuing to lean in a little bit more with our Little League partnership, and what we're doing with our first game certificate program as well, and the Girl Scout. So excited to do more with them this year.
When we're thinking about putting a ring on it, what was that moment when you guys realized, oh, we have the same vision? Let's say I do, to this partnership.
Was it love at first sight?
Right.
It was.
It was.
A little,
Well,
yeah,
you know?
No, it kind of was. We were literally just talking backstage. Like, you like doing business with people that you like, and it is really nice when we share values with the brand, but also we share sentiments and we like the people, and we really feel that way about New York Life's executives and the people that we work with on a day-to-day basis.
I know, I joked and I said, can I just go out there and say, I'm just really having fun being friends? And it really is like that, too. But from the moment we started conversations, it was absolutely different. Like I said, we've had many conversations over the years. And when we just knew that we were fully aligned, especially with like the commitment to the community and to the youth, that was a perfect fit.
So is there a baby in the future? I'm just playing.
Maybe.
Right? Well, thanks for talking about your babies. You have been quite the entrepreneur, and you have so many businesses that I would imagine, outside of your beautiful 2 little girls, are also your babies. You are co-founded 400 Ventures, which is a talent management company, part of ownership group of Premier League club AFC Bournemouth, and runs Foul Ball Productions. Am I missing anything?
I got some stuff on the docket.
Okay, we'll keep working on it?
I sit on a few boards of companies. So we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot. But go ahead. Finish your question.
Finish saying amazing stuff about
Yeah,
Dexter.
keep going. Keep going. I'm liking this. I'm liking what you're doing right now.
You want me to keep talking about you?
Keep
Okay.
talking.
How are you utilizing your businesses to continue to inspire and unite communities the way you did when you were playing?
Well, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm a people person, so I realized that. But when I played, you meet so many people, you talk to so many, but I relished relationships, and the people that I met, I nurtured those, and that's kind of propelled me through my business ventures. And it's crazy because 400 Ventures is my management company, and they manage me. My partner manages me, so it's like me paying back myself, but also making money and being able to put good people, our clients and stuff, in great relationships, and that's just from the people that I met. I got to be a English Premier League team owner with my neighbor because he loved me, and he's my business mentor. His name is Bill Foley. I sit on his boards, and he's kind of, like I said, he's kind of taking me under his wing, and you know, like I said, I'm on boards, and you know, then you go to the next thing, and it's like, okay, you're part of CAP, and then New York Life. So you meet people like that, and the sky's the limit.
Why 400 Ventures? What does 400 mean?
Because, you know, that's a great question. 400 is, nobody has ever hit 400 in baseball. Yeah, so you're always working to get to 400.
How long did it take you to
learn
think of that?
something new every day.
That's a pretty face, guys.
How long did it take you to think of that one?
My partner and I had some help, but my partner and I, we came up with it, but it definitely stuck.
When did you first begin to realize that financial literacy is something that's going to be extremely important, especially post-career?
Oh, when I was a kid. I mean, my mom always told me, Dex always had money. Like every time they gave, like every time birthday, like I didn't know, like when, you know, it's your birthday and you get checks, like the checks expire, like people want you to like cash the check. So I had it under my bed in a shoebox full of money, and like my mom was like, these checks are 3 years old, like you gotta cash them, like what are you doing? So I've always had that mindset of saving and wanted to do that, but my parents have always imparted that in my brain, my brother and I's brains. It's like, hey, look, there's life after baseball, and you got to start thinking about that before it even starts.
Also, you have 2 girls. I have 3 kids, and my eldest is 4.5, and he got a piggy bank, I don't know, within the past 6 months, and he has no idea what like money, the value of money is. Like right now, he actually just is into collecting pennies. I was like, can we like up it a little bit,
right.
quarters,
nickels,
but
little dime.
it starts so young as it relates to. It's almost like a hobby to like collect, and then it turns. You can probably speak to it, like, and then it turns into, okay, I understand the value of what money is, and then teaching them the value of like what 100%. That means in terms of saving. It's like it's interesting to see through your kids' eyes a little bit.
Oh, for sure. But you also see like what type of person they're gonna be. Right? Yeah. Like the one is like, oh, I'm cheap. The other one's like, oh, just get it. And I'm like, no. Get it when it's not your money, but when it's your money, you're like, oh, okay, never mind. Like,
be thoughtful.
Exactly.
And all of those lessons.
You can tell a lot about their personality.
You can.
I've been teaching my kids that when you go to the grocery store, we can't just pick things and eat them. Like we have to pay for them before you just start opening stuff.
That is a new realization.
For me, it was super important, and I did not have those lessons. And when I graduated from college, I was like, yes, I am debt-free. This is amazing. I was given that gift from my parents. And because of that, my mentality was that, well, then I'm going to go open a credit card now because I am debt-free. And so giving away that gift and getting into debt in my young 20s because I did not have the lessons of budgeting or understanding what a dollar was, and then having to move back in with my parents to get me out of debt when you're graduating from college, 1, is humiliating, but 2, it was a big lesson for me. And so I know this personally, and when we talk about financial literacy and the lessons and teaching kids young, like, do not follow into these footsteps, but we just didn't have that when I was growing up.
What would you say are the lessons or rule number 1 that you should think about that New York Life is teaching, especially the different athletes that are beginning to work with?
Yeah, no, that is a great question. And for us, being able to understand your goals, and that's where we really start from New York Life, is that we're not a product where you're just saying, okay, hey, you need life insurance to help you do this. What we really ask you is like, what are your life goals? What do you want to accomplish? And then this is how we can help get you there. And it's a really different kind of mentality. And I think that if I was given that lesson when I was younger, it wouldn't seem like such a chore to say, like, save your pennies in this bank, because you're like, well, why? Like, I do want to buy this stuff now. But I think if my parents had instilled, these are the things that you need to think about longer term and be able to have that mentality, that is a lesson that we really want to help teach kids starting at a young age.
to that point also, it just makes me think about one of the things that we spoke to New York Life about when we were talking to them was the life cycle of a fan, and then the life cycle of when you start to get educated on moments that happen with financial education, getting your piggy bank, getting married and having to open a joint account, then deciding that you need to save for retirement, opening up a 529 when you have kids, like all those things. We created a timeline that kind of mirrors the life cycle of a fan and the life cycle of moments where you're having these financial, I need to make these financial decisions. And there's a lot that we realize that we could do as it relates to communicating to our fans that are also their consumers during these pivotal moments throughout their lifetime.
I love that. And it's like, we talk about it all the time in our house. It's it's planned for rainy days, right? Because those are going to come, right? So, you have this plan, and it's like, there's X, Y, and Z, but put some money aside because there's going to be that family member. There's going to be someone who's going to need your help. Not, knock on wood, hopefully it's not crazy close to you, but at the end of the day, you're going to need to help those people out, and you're going to want to be financially stable enough to have that money put away to be like, okay, let's dip into this.
For us, it's really about removing risk to be able to help you enjoy your goals throughout life.
When you think about removing risk, I'm curious, Dexter, when you got your first big league check, what was your first purchase? And then was it too big to reset? I'm at risk of doing this again. Let me go ahead and put some money away.
When I got drafted, was my first check. It wasn't my big league check, but it was my first check. And I ended up getting a Range Rover. And my dad told me, he said, Dex, you should just lease the car. I said, no, Dad, I'm going to buy the car. I want it to be mine. I want to do what I want to do to the car. And I'm 4 years later, I'm like, Dad, you were right. I should have leased the car because I lost my. It's like you go to sell a car. It's like, I know I want the next car. So he's like, he told me that too. He's like, you're going to want 2 years, a new one's going to come out. You're going to want that one. So then you got to sell this one and you're going to lose money on it. Just lease it. I said, Dad, I'm leasing the car. The next one, I said, I'm leasing it. But first big league check. So I got to the big leagues. It's a funny story. I get to the big leagues. And I was a September call-up, and I got my 15-day check, and I looked at it, and I, double took. I was like, is this right? Because you're getting paid, in the minor leagues, you don't get paid basically anything. And then you get to the big leagues, and it's 700 times bigger. And you're like, did they make a mistake? So I took a picture, and I sent it to my mom, and she was a teacher. She goes, that's how much I make in a year. And I was like, that's crazy. It was crazy to think about it, but it went straight to the bank for sure. I'm saving that one.
Learn that one?
Yeah, we're saving those.
Did you cash that check, or is it still under your bed? Or
No, but I heard, did you hear about that? Was it Ricky Henderson? I guess he had $1 million check from, it's one of his first, he never cashed it. He was like, hey, this is my, yeah. He was like, it was his first check. They're like, Ricky, that check is void.
So he just has it somewhere? Yeah.
You're going to go find it.
Speaking of financial
you know where Ricky Henderson lives?
Yeah.
Lisa, New York Life understands the power and impact of sports and wants to help as many young athletes start with their passions, whether it be from Little League all the way to Major League Baseball. For you this past year, 2024, what would you say has probably been the highlight of the year in being able to help so many athletes, fans, and just other consumers you work with?
Yeah, no. So we have had this amazing privilege, and I can't believe that it's only been a year. And I think that Uzma's right when you talk about building the foundation the first year. And I think for us, it was about putting all of the right programs in place. And one of the programs that we really love is the Community Heroes. And this is with our partnership with Little League. And Uzma talked about we have this amazing partnership with the youth. And it is really important to us, as we've just been talking about, to be able to grow the game from a little child who has this passion. And we also know that there are volunteers and parents and coaches and people who are working in the leagues, and they may not go noticed or thanked all the time. And I think parents are really busy shuttling their kids to games. And so the Community Heroes program honors these amazing people in that community who are committed to growing the game and are committed to the youth. And it was an honor for us to be able to present these grants at the Little League World Series this year. And we're very excited to continue doing that.
Uzma, for you, what does MLB hope to achieve in the coming year with the partnership with New York Life?
I think just continue to do more. And like I said, I'll keep on saying this. New York Life is a great partner because they really lean into the partnership and truly activate around the partnership. We were just saying that we had our partner summit in Fort Lauderdale a couple weeks ago, and I landed at the airport, and I probably should have known this, but I didn't realize. But New York Life had an activation there, and I was just like, "Oh, that's amazing that they're." So they really do lean in heavily in terms of helping MLB tell its story, leveraging our marks, leveraging our IP, help us storytell too. So that's exciting for us.
Dexter, is there anything you feel like you're continuing to learn, whether through partnerships with New York Life, MLB, as far as just financial literacy, continuing on with your businesses, just adding to your repertoire of what you already know?
Yeah, I mean, you see what MLB has done and what New York Life has done, and when they partnered up with people, and you can tell the trust is there, and to have that in the next partner or next venture you're trying to do, whether that's in 400 and we get another client, but you actually look up to that relationship right there, and it's like that's what you want.
And we're so excited because not only have we gotten to work with Dexter at Rickwood and here, but we truly believe in the power of partnerships. And so this is not like a 1-2 time thing. We are also building a relationship with him and through MLB.
I just signed my lifetime deal. Did you hear that?
Yeah. MLB has so many different initiatives, whether it be the Rookie Symposium, where the 30 teams pick 2 to 3 top prospects to go and learn about financial literacy, what it is preparing for when they make it to the show, how their life is going to change, or Ahead in the Count, which is continuing to help them on and off the field. When you think about other initiatives that really drive the conversation of being able to instill so much valuable lessons to the athletes, what are some of the ones that you're excited about moving forward?
I think, again, New York Life does a great job. I think that they created, they have experts on their side that have created videos that I think we're going to launch this year of educating our players when they do go through the Rookie Symposium of how to be a little bit smarter when it comes to financial education and financial literacy. It's also exciting some of the ways that New York Life is activating, again, with the youth. I think one of my favorite programs that we did with them this year was with the Girl Scouts of America, and bringing Girl Scouts of America troops to their first MLB game. And we captured some of that content, and the videos of these little girls.
They're so cute.
They're so
cute.
Freaking adorable, answering questions. But that's the type of stuff that we like to do, the feel-good stuff where we really are at the forefront of creating these moments, with New York Life helping us sort of bring that to life.
And that's a part of the first game program, and I was able to be a part of the experience for the Girl Scouts in Pennsylvania, and I got to witness their reactions to going to their first game. They were most excited about the food and the slushies, but I know they loved the game as well. It was really fun to see. When you think about, I'm so curious as to how that came about, the conversation in the first game, because it truly is changing the trajectory of what these young girls, whether it be softball, whether they want to play baseball, but really their visions of what baseball is and their visions of what they have for themselves moving forward and what they can achieve. What was the conversation about wanting to start? Because sometimes it really does start with going to that very first game.
You want me to go, or you want? It was part of the ideation process. The beauty of the partnerships that we create with any partner is that we don't have cookie cutter partner A, partnership A, partnership B, partnership C. We really try to listen and learn and understand what are the values of the brand that we're talking to, what is that feeling that they're looking to create in the minds of the consumers that they're looking to reach. And through that ideation and creative process, we came up with, I think the person's in the crowd that actually helped pitch the idea, Mike Niego back there in the pink shirt. But
Mike and Harrison.
And
Mike,
Harrison
raise your
right
hand.
here. But so we came up with this first game certificate program, which is a really cool moment for a fan to go to their first game. I was there when my son went to his first game, and it was at Citi Field, and just the awe on his face of looking around and being like, where am I? All of these people, it's so cool. That moment, if you can capture it in a bottle, and for them to be, again, at the backdrop and at the forefront of that moment was really cool for us to bring to life.
Yeah, when they brought us this opportunity, it was so exciting because, number one, like we said, we have youth at our hearts, and so this is an opportunity to meet fans authentically and be able to provide this exciting opportunity for them and like a special moment that they can take home. And for us to just be a part of that, which was really neat. And then, we always talk about, from a marketing perspective, data and technology, and being able to share that and be able to share the fans in between us has been great.
The Girl Scouts, I know there's Pennsylvania, they got to go to Lily Classic, the World Series, All-Star. Are there any conversations of expansion for where the girls can go for their first game ticket?
We are open. Like, this is such an exciting program, and what I love about the MLB and what I love about my team is like the art of the possibility here. And so I don't think I have ever heard no from my team from the start, and I've never heard no from MLB, which is really amazing. And so that's one thing that we always talk about is like, what can we be doing and how can it be expanding? So we are very open.
Remember, we're engaged now, so.
Yeah, it's right.
I thought we were, I can officiate the wedding. This is...
The constant conversations where sometimes the fandom and our love for the game of baseball, softball, all starts with going to one game. For everybody here, what was your first baseball game, and how did it have impact on what you do now today?
So I don't remember my actual first game, but like I said, I grew up in Santa Barbara, California, and so I'm fourth generation Santa Barbarian, as we like to say, and so grew up like straight Dodgers. Like, we bleed Dodger blood, right? So it killed them when I moved to New York and became a Yankees like this, but my first memory is really loving a Dodger dog. And so like it sits in my heart how much I love a Dodger dog. I don't remember who was playing, but I do remember my love for this hot dog.
And that's spoken like the little girls that went to the game with the Girl Scouts.
For me, I mentioned my son's first game. I wasn't born here. I was born in the UK, so I didn't grow up going to baseball games or watching baseball per se. But my husband, ironically, is also from the UK. When he moved here 10 years ago, he became a Mets fan. And so he took our son to his first baseball game at Citi Field, and that moment to watch him, and I was working for baseball at the time, and to watch him walk into a place of, I'm air quoting like my work, and for him to just be in awe of the overall experience and to see like the pure joy that I saw his baseball fandom literally ignite that day, and it was such a cool moment to see. And a year later, the Mets are in the postseason, and he became a diehard last year. It was crazy. Like, he would negotiate with us to stay up late to watch games. He's 4.5, by the way. He became like a heckler with his teachers at school. They're Yankees fans. He would take Mets rally towels and put them on their computers. Anytime he sees someone wearing a Phillies hat, he's like, Phillies, boo! I'm like, okay,
I say the same thing.
We're kind of raising a little bit of a troll, but it was so cool. Like that, to watch him sort of develop his baseball fandom has been a really, really awesome thing for me to see working at baseball.
Why did your husband pick the Mets instead of the Yankees?
Who knows? He picked the Mets and the Jets.
He's a Metropolitan.
10 years ago.
All right, so my turn. I was smiling this whole time because I don't know if it was my first baseball game. It was the first baseball game I remember. But my dad, we went to Fulton County Stadium. I'm from Atlanta, so watching the Braves, and Andrew Jones was in center field. And my dad, I didn't tell my dad this, but when I first walked in there and you'd see him like in between innings and they're throwing baseballs to each other, I thought they were robots because everything was so precise. Like everything, you're a little kid and you're playing catch and everything's all over the place, and they were hitting each other in the chest, like perfect throws, and then throwing the ball in, and it was so crisp. And my dad looks at me, he goes, "You think you could do this?" I said, "Dad, I can do this. I know I can do this." And so ended up getting older and meeting Andrew Jones, and now we're really good friends. But it's funny to talk about that because I talked to my dad about that. I said, "Do you ever think that?" He goes, "I knew you had something in you."
Oh, I love that. But I mean, very similar, not as similar, but for me, my very first baseball game was I went to an Angels game, playing travel ball, softball. A lot of the tournaments were in California and the Los Angeles area. So went there. I actually got to meet Torrey Hunter, and he became my favorite player after that. And then after I won the Gold Glove, he came up to me, and I didn't even think he'd remember me, and let me know that, oh, now he's a fan of me. So it was a very big full circle moment from being able to see him when I was, I don't know, maybe 11, 12 years old at my first game to now the career today and being able to talk to him and have those different conversations. And when we think about building more of those dreams and more of those experiences for young girls to have these full circle moments and young boys to have those full circle moments, what are you guys most looking forward to? What can we expect in 2025?
Yeah, we have some really amazing things coming up in 2025. So like I said, we are very committed to the youth and youth sports, and we realize that the cost is extreme for these people who are trying to go through sports. I think my friend said that she pays $5,000 to watch her son pick grass. And so we realize that there is a cost associated, and that we are committed to helping people through their financial goals, from young athletes and all the way through the rest of their lives. And so we have some really exciting programs that we're going to be announcing in May that are really focused on helping, putting our money where our mouth is continuously.
Outside of MLB, T-ball is probably the most exciting sport to watch. Playing with the grass. It is so fun to watch those little kids. Oh my gosh.
For me, I'm going to sort of shift back to MLB for a second because we are actually leaving in a couple days.
I was about to say, it's coming up quick.
To go to Tokyo. We are opening our season there with the Dodgers and the Cubs, which is incredibly exciting. We had a historic season last year, the success of the rule changes and what that has meant for our sport. So we're really looking to draft off the momentum. There's a real excitement in the air in the office right now. Everyone's excited to come to work, and we're looking forward to start a season, and there's some exciting player storytelling that we're going to do this year as well. It's something that we're heavily leaning into to really make sure that we're putting players at the forefront of what we do.
I'm just excited to watch it. I mean, you got Shohei going home, and all the Japanese guys going home and playing in front of their home countries. That's crazy. It's crazy to think about it. And historically, I say the Cubs. I think you got two of the most historic teams in the big leagues.
Not biased at all.
I'm not biased at all,
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm just like you said. I'm excited to see what the Dodgers have in play. I'm excited. There's a lot of good things going on with baseball right now, and
we are on fire.
We are on fire.
We are on fire.
It's growing exponentially, and I think we need to stay right there, and hopefully it keeps going.
What about for your businesses, Dexter? What can we? You ready? You want to rep me? Talent management company.
Yeah. My businesses just continue to grow, continue to learn, meet good people. I think good people in good rooms do good things. So just getting in those rooms and talking business and talking personalities, because I think there's always some cohesiveness in everybody's lives, and it's just a matter about having a conversation.
Good people in good rooms create good things. That is exactly what Major League Baseball New York Life is continuing to do 2024 onto this 2025 season. And we are in a room full of good people, and we're excited to hear any questions you may have from this panel about what this season is going to look like. And yes, when you have a question, you can just come up to the mic. Thank you.
It's a race to the front.
Yes, being the first person, sorry. Hi, I'm Gabby. I was just wondering what your opinion is on navigating somebody who came in for the sport, but I do think there is a benefit for branding on social media. How do you navigate that as heads, knowing that you want to make sure that they're within corporate guidelines, but still personalities?
I'm going to let you go first.
I'll go first for this. You're right that these people are coming in as fans, and so you have to recognize that they're a fan. Like we said, you can't go in and say, hey, you came to this baseball game. Do you want to learn about financial education, or do you want to talk about life insurance? That's never going to work, right? I mean, maybe a small chance. But for us, we have to think about, how do you connect with the fan in the moment that they're at and in the language that they want to hear? And so for us, the first touch is really nothing about ourselves. It is about what is your experience? Do you want to win a prize? Are you having a good time? Our social media team they're here, and they came up with some really amazing things like don't drop the ball, how many things can you do? And it's all about the engagement with the fan. And then we follow up with, are you interested in learning more? Do you want to hear what else that we're doing with the MLB? What's coming up next? And it is much more of a nurture journey, and our compliance and legal are part of that step every step of the way there. But it is also about educating your compliance and legal along the way as well. So when you bring them along and tell them like this is the journey and what you want to do, they can also help you craft it in a way that works within your guidelines there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, from our perspective, we want to make sure that we're storytelling for our brands, but in an authentic and organic manner. So, we start our season like end of February, March with spring training, and you guys play every single day all the way through the end of October, early November. And there's a story to be told every single day, whether it's on the field or what our players are doing off the field. And so we find ways to organically integrate our partners into that storytelling, whether it's New York Life owning milestone moments or things like that. So that's how we sort of do it in an organic manner where it's not so in your face. Oh, I think that was we looked at Dexter, but maybe that was a us question.
For me, I mean, if you want to ask, for me, I think it's having people like myself be a part of it, right? Because it's like
Exactly right.
The fan wants to hear from that, not just obviously the company, but they want to hear about somebody who has been on both sides.
I think our highest engaging social media posts have been with someone like Dexter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for your presentation today. It was very insightful and very informative, and I really appreciate. I was only going to be here for a few minutes, but you guys drew me in and hooked me in, so I really appreciate it.
I love your honesty that you're only going to stay for a few minutes.
Thank you.
It must have been these three then, the three beautiful women up here. Everybody's like, hey, you know what?
I was looking at this
Or the trophy.
This trophy over here.
That's what brought me
It
here.
glistens a little bit.
And it drew me in, and I said, I got to stay. My name is Michael Lewis. I'm with ATX Digital. And what you said, one of the things you said that was really important to me was financial literacy. A lot of underserved communities do not know about investing for their lives, for their retirement. I've been retired for 8 years, and because of investing, I'm able to survive and thrive, really. And my question to you or Dexter, baseball, you only play baseball for a few number of years, and you get these big checks that you can't believe. Where did you find out how to make that money last for your remaining years?
You know what? It's organizations like this. Companies like this and MLB but at the end of the day, like, my dad was in corporate America. My dad would work for Kimberly Clark, like, coming up, but we always talked about this at home, right? So, like, you're only gonna play. I mean, on a good, you would play 22 years, or like that's a really good career. Mm-hmm. And God willing, like, you still have the rest of your life to live. Mm-hmm. So this money, I tell the young dudes in the clubhouse all the time, I'm like, this money has to, this money, like, I know you want to get all your stuff and it's cool, but like, this money has to last you and your kids the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Unless you go out and you want to get a job and do stuff. Like, so that's how my dad always imparted that in us and my brother and I. So, like, thinking about it like that, I try to push the youth and talk to them about it, or their parents about it. Like, hey, look, you're going to get your sign-in bonus. But no, if you don't get to the big leagues, that sign-in bonus has got to last you the rest of your life. So don't go just spend all this stuff and put all your eggs in one basket, because that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's interesting, like, Dex talks about his dad instilling this in him, and Lisa on the flip side talks about not really having that education while growing up. And so I think the thing that New York Life does really well is, like, meeting kids where they are, where maybe if they're not getting that education at home, they're at least allowing them to get that education in other places where they might be going and visiting.
And then you have, like, not a lot of, we've been in the locker room, but people, like, we talk about stuff like this in the locker room as well. So then you have the vets who are like myself, who, like, the younger guys, they ask me questions, right? And I feel like it was up to me to tell them this, because a lot of them hadn't heard of it. Or you got people from that's what I love about the clubhouse. There's different walks of life. Like, you don't know how somebody grew up, where they come from, like who they have to support or who they don't have to support. So, but I will tell you that one thing is always right, is at the end of this, you still got to make that money last. So
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, and this is something that we feel is really important here, and where we have talked with the MLB a lot, and so we've developed a lot of curriculum to be able to give to them, to be able to give to their players, their minor league players, the people who are coming up, because it is such an important lesson. But not only are we giving it to them, but this is something that New York Life really gives to the public, because this is such an important lesson.
Okay. Did you have any answer to that?
I don't make the money Dexter makes, so it was a little different for me. I was saving every dollar every time.
And we tried to get that up too. We
Right,
tried to get that. I got two girls, so I'm like, hey.
But I'm a woman in sports, so it's a little different conversation. But yeah, my dad is also someone who's also, my mom's a teacher and my father is a judge, so financial literacy has always been something that we were talked about. And I've always had to have a job and make sure I saved my money from that job and paid for things myself. So that was something that I had to work on at a young age. But yeah, I was a penny pinch.
Okay.
Yeah.
But thank you. Thank you for your
We
answers.
all do.
Yeah, thank you for your answers. Financial literacy is really important, as Dexter stated. You only work a portion of your life playing baseball, and then you need to make that extend. And I was wondering how he was able to make that money extend for the rest of his life. So thank you so much for your answers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you guys?
Unbelievable.
Feeling good now that you're almost done?
Feeling great.
Yeah.
Oh, we could go for another hour if you
Right.
guys want to stay. I'm just playing.
Well, I've got a two-part question, and my name's Erica Rooney. I'm the founder of an online digital community that empowers women to get into positions of power and stay there, right? Because for every 2 women that are being promoted to director level, or every 1 woman, 2 women are leaving, right? Women only occupy 29% of C-level positions today. So I do think that the MLB is doing a great job diversifying its audience, but I'm really interested to see, like, how are you working to expand that reach? And you actually touched a little bit on it when you were talking about heading to the inner city schools, but what efforts are you making to impact women and bring them into the sport?
That's a me question. So I think that one way that we're doing that is, the action on the field is the action on the field. But something that we've learned is, first of all, we have the highest percentage of female fans compared to a lot of the other sports. So we're doing a good job, but there's always more that we could do. And some of the programs that we're creating from a marketing perspective, one thing is MLB Life. So our fans are also interested in not just our baseball players and action on the field, but sort of the ancillary aspects of baseball, the food, fashion, lifestyle, culture. And how are we leaning into that to tell our players' story of their interests off the field? And then leaning into, we talked about food and the Dodger dog, like leaning into those moments where we can, what we like to say is maybe bring fans through the side door, have them interested in baseball in other ways, and then continue to feed them that content, and then have them interested in baseball overall as it relates to, what's going on a day-to-day basis regarding their favorite team, winning, losing, et cetera, et cetera. So those are some of the ways that we're doing that.
No, I love that question. Your story about taking your son to his very first game, it really stuck with me because I have a 10-year-old. And every year for his birthday, we offer him a birthday party or an experience. And the last 3 years, he's always chosen an experience. And it's always a Yankees game at some stadium. So Green Monster, Yankee Stadium, it's his favorite. But I'm trying to get my daughter more involved. But my second question is for all 3 of you. As a woman in sports, how has it been being a woman in sports, especially a woman of color in sports? Like, what boundaries are you, or what glass ceilings are you facing, and what are you doing to change that for other women?
I think especially coming from playing professional softball and then moving into career in broadcasting, for me, it's all about representation, because Natasha Watley, who is still a very big part of Major League Baseball, she was someone who made me believe that I was able to play professionally and then also move into a career, being that she was really the only black woman I saw playing softball. And so my goals was to always be in a space where I knew I didn't have to go 3 for 3, right? It was just showing up. And so to me, it's the importance of showing up, the importance of us sitting here on this panel and you see women in these positions doing the things that they're doing is is enough for someone to say, oh, I can do the same thing.
Absolutely.
And so for me, it's about being in those specific areas and showing up in different ways I possibly can, whether it is on the softball field or it is in broadcasting, to really make sure. I do a lot of work with young softball players and make sure that they can see themselves in those positions. And so that's a goal of mine. It always has been. And so I hope not only do they think they can be professional softball players, but also broadcasting, whether it's in baseball or beyond.
Amazing.
Trust me, we do the same. It's the same with, like you said, African American. It's visibility.
Yeah.
Like seeing, like, oh, I could do this too, right? They're up here. And I mean, you look at 3 right here. This is diverse as it gets.
No, we're great
right?
up here. This
Yeah,
is
right?
good. Check done.
Right?
Right. I got 2 girls, so I'm a girl dad. And
Love it.
looking at that and getting them to play basketball or baseball. Like, obviously they don't want to do what dad did, but they relish it. But at the end of the day, it's seeing somebody like AJ up there, like,
Yes.
oh, look, I can play that. I can do that. And I take them to, I use the example because I take them to the Aces game. And my oldest said, oh, I want to play basketball, because she went to and they love the Aces game. Like, that's their jam, right, in Vegas. And so I'm sitting there, we're sitting on the court, and they're giving them 5s. Like, Kelsey Plum gives them a high. They're like, oh my gosh. So now they want to play basketball, which is, it's just visibility. And that's the same way with us being in inner city. Like, going there and especially being African American, you go to inner city and they're like, oh, you play?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Now it's cool for them to play.
It's real. It's tangible.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
A quote that I always like to use is too determined to be defeated and too focused to be doubtful. And so for me, that's something that's really driven me, whether it be the barriers as a professional woman in sports trying to get the same recognition, money, attention, whatever that looks like, or being in business, really just maintaining that, making sure you can have the same respect and make sure you're elevating in the ways in which I know that I'm capable of. But be too determined to be defeated, too focused to be doubtful, and not allow anything to stop.
I love it. I was going to ask you to repeat it, but you got it. Thank you.
I would just say one other thing. I think that sometimes we shy away from raising our own hand. If you don't raise your hand, no one's going to raise it for you. And so continuing to encourage other women. I try to do it with women on my team, that if you don't ask, you don't get. You can't read your mind. So if you want to be in a meeting, ask to be in a meeting. If you want to be in a call, ask to be in a call. If you want to join this conversation, ask to join the conversation. And so that's the only way that we can continue to foster sort of that confidence in other women to continue to join us at the table that we are so lucky to be at as well.
Amazing.
That's exactly right. And I think just from my own personal story, so I was always in digital marketing. I did not have experience in sports sponsorships. When the position came up, because that person left, I said, I want this. And New York Life absolutely said, yes, because you have done so much with these other areas, they gave it to me. And I think that we have thrived in this last year.
And that's incredible,
tell your
though.
kids, closed mouths don't get fed.
That is true, but that's incredible because most men are promoted on potential, whereas women are promoted based off of what they have already accomplished. So
Exactly.
2 snaps to New York Life for that. And yes,
Two snaps.
closed mouths don't get fed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining this amazing panel, this amazing conversation on the art of partnership with Major League Baseball and New York Life. And look forward to seeing you guys at the games this 2025 season.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.